This is a special episode of the Inspiring Talk podcast where I chat with Shibin Lee from CastBox, which is the most popular app for listening podcast on Android. Welcome guys to the Inspiring Talk. My name is Vijay Gautam. I'm host for this show. Each week I interview today's most successful and inspiring personalities to help you realize your inner potential. Welcome guys to this special episode of the Inspiring Talk podcast where I chat with Shibin Lee from CastBox. Shibin is co-founder at the CastBox. Shibin, thanks for joining me. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you, BJ.
Awesome. So I'm glad to have you here, Shibin. I have been using CastBox app for quite some time now and I really love your podcast app. And now you are launching another project or product called ContentBox, which we will be talking a bit later in this episode itself. So, Shibin, why don't you go ahead and share about your role in CastBox?
I'm the co-founder of CastBox, which is a podcast platform founded in 2016. So I'm mainly in charge of user acquisition within CastBox.
Awesome. So how does the user or the numbers of people using the CastBox looks like at the moment? Like how many active users are there and how many daily users? If you want to throw some stats out there.
Yeah. So that will be great. So actually now we already got 17 million users just within the past 2 years. So I think I have done a good job.
Yeah,
And
you sure have done.
yeah, and we already got 50 million audio contents already. So we got that means we got episodes in US and also in India. We have those contents available in over 175 countries and more than 70 languages. Within the last 2 years, we have already raised 30 million US dollar in VC fundings. Now we are the top three app in news and magazine category in Google Play US.
That's some good numbers. Awesome. So I can see some serious funding coming into podcasting space and CastBox being, no different in terms of putting out all the heart out to make this podcasting space better. So I'm really looking forward for, where the CastBox can go because it has come along a very, very long way in the past 2 years. As you said, you have done a good job. Awesome. So, yeah. How CastBox as a platform is different from other podcast playing platform? What is that unique feature that you offer inside the CastBox?
Actually, we can consider us as a audio aggregation platform, so not only limited to podcasts, but also maybe on-demand radios and audiobooks. All the founders and co-founders of this project are podcast fans, so we really like the industry. And so when we were in 2016, so we just found that podcast is a high demand industry, but for example, for iOS platform, so there is like Apple Podcast, which is the dominant app. But in Android system, I think there's still like big potential to growth. There is maybe no not perfect app, and we would like to take this chance to help the Android audience to also enjoy the better podcast listening experience. That is why we would like to develop a app which focus on podcast on Android system. And from the beginning, we just rule out very fast developing space. So we got one upgrade for every week. So we connect so many user feedback. So within the past 2 years, we got already received 200,000 users feedback.
Wow,
We got
awesome.
a team to handle that. Yeah, we got a team to handle that. So we make sure that everybody get the uh, response within 24 hours, and we take consider of all this feedback and put that into the optimization of our app. That is why both our Android and iOS version in the store can got the 4.7 rating. That is the highest one within the same category.
True.
And after 1 year, so we decided we need to move forward. And so we introduced some like features or technology I think our competitors do not have. One of it is the in audio search function. So actually, now everybody's time is really limited. They do not want to open the podcast to see maybe 1 hour podcast they listen from the beginning to the end, but maybe they are interested in one of the topic. So maybe for example within our like conversation, so this podcast they maybe only want to focus on content box part, so they can just search content box and type content box. Uh, CastBox will help them to locate when these phrases appear during our conversation, and they can just click and the system will direct them directly into the time slot this phrase appears, so they can just start from then where this topic starts. That saves users time. Yeah. Another feature is that we have introduced the deep learning technology, which we benefit from the TensorFlow, which is a cutting edge technology. I think a lot of like content players use, so we can help user to find what they want. So after they maybe have listened several episodes, we can recommend what thing they might also interested. So after this feature launched, the average listening time everybody has already reached 100 minutes. Yeah, I think these two things I would like to mention.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I'm one of those 200,000 people sending the feedback to CastBox, just because I love this app so
Really?
much. And I put,
Oh.
post CastBox to a lot of my listeners. And also, there
Mm.
is this code that is given to me by CastBox where people can try the premium version for 180 days.
Ah,
That's
thank.
and also, yes, as you are saying, like the deep audio search technique, or since even if we talk about the Google, it is very adept in giving you the result of image or video results, even and the text-based content. But um, if that functions works really well in terms of searching that phrase as you are mentioning, that would be amazing, like just typing down some keywords, and if the app is able to put out the exact episode with the same phrase, then that's phenomenal, that's revolutionary. So a really cool feature out there, amazing. So how is podcast industry as of now in South Asian part, or maybe you can maybe give a brief about how podcast is doing in the overall world, as per your understanding, as per the insider of the app, or what are the different user behaviors in podcasting space. So what kind of content is working, the length of the podcast, or any kind of insights you want to give out on those lines.
Actually, so there are so many channels for people to spend on their entertaining time, but there are still like some time slot that only suitable for your ears, I would say, because your eyes will be occupied. For example, when you're driving, especially for long distance. For example, in the U.S., people might need to drive 2 or 3 hours on commute because the distance between their work and their home is really far. And also when you like doing your housework and when you just go out and maybe walking your dogs or running or take exercise, so you cannot see those videos, but you still can have podcasts to like to be played with you, and that is we can call that like maybe time of year. And also usually podcasters really focus on make great efforts on provide high quality content. So I think podcast is nowadays is still a like good content resource to for people who would like to spend their time to listen and to gain something other than just entertainment.
True.
According to our audience like analysis within Castbox, the demographic features like most of the listeners is between 25 to 45. Yeah, the age range. Most of them are falling this age range, and also a little more male than female. Yeah,
Mm.
and people are like to content people pretty like to listen to usually like related to news and financial advisement. Also, maybe some like entertainment news and jokes, and also science and technology. So the category is various, depends on people's personal preference, and also that is why we provide personalized recommendation to them.
That sounds good, and I can't agree more with you on podcast consumption part. Is the podcast consumption is the secondary activity. You could be doing anything, driving, cooking, cleaning, or whatever you want to do, right? You can do that and still listen to the podcast. So now, Shibin, CastBox is moving towards a different project, or into a new project, I would rather say. It's called Content Box, and you are trying to decentralize digital content industry using blockchain technology, right? So what is Content Box?
So CastBox is aimed to build a blockchain infrastructure, especially for the digital content industry. We would like to design the blockchain help to solve the problem and to solve the problem within this industry. So within this industry, there are a lot of different stakeholders. There are like content creators and consumers, and also platform advertisers and developers. So now this is a really big industry, but for each stakeholders, they might encounter some difficulty. For example, so for content creator like you, so you deliver high quality content, but sometimes you cannot get really good rewarded because within this industry, I think most resource and fundings go to the really top players, and also the income have been like distributed to platforms. So I think the creators can only get a very small portion of it. But with the blockchain system with Content Box, we introduced the Box token. So actually, you can directly get connected with your audience. So when they really like your content, they can just maybe donate you the Box token. You do not need to be introduced by the middleman, and you do not need to take part of them by the platform. And the other side is the content consumer. So for example, for you is your audience. They spend time to listen to podcast, and some of them really give very good feedback, and also they provide contribution, like they help to share your content, they make good comments, sometimes they report something maybe not good within the system, but they are not rewarded as well. Maybe some of them really need to pay to listen to good content, but actually they spend their time. I think for nowadays the time is very precious resource. So now with the blockchain system like Content Box, they can also get rewarded by Box token if they really make their own contribution to the system. So they can get the Box token when they make sharing and when they give high quality comments, and they can maybe use those tokens backward to buy the content they really like. So that is a good motivation that will make this circle run smooth, and make that is a positive feedback.
Are there going to be option for the premium content within Content Box ecosystem, where I create some premium content only for those people who will pay me or donate me as a podcaster?
So if they really like your content, so they can just directly donate you the box token. Actually, this feature have already been integrated into CastBox. So now you can find the My Wallet section in CastBox when you use our app.
Yeah,
So
I have
it
noticed that.
support yeah, it support Box and ETH. And within this month, the donation function will be open, so people can just like send you box.
It's more from the creator's perspective. Are there any kind of changes or any kind of reward system for listeners coming to Castbox to listen to podcast?
Yeah. So actually, Content Box is have three important components. One is the box payout. That is a like fast and secure blockchain to carry out multi-party payments. And the second one is the box passport. That is a unified blockchain-based identity, which can be used across like different applications. And final one is the box unpack. So that is a turnkey solution for content platforms to be easily and quickly integrated into content box. So for the users, now the content box have the CastBox as one of the dApp. So and maybe if, in the future, so there are a lot of different apps can be built on Content Box. Now, actually, we have already have three different other apps which not only focus on podcasts but also image and short videos and like written articles thing. All those apps will be like integrate into the Content Box. That means after that, so our listeners can use one identity to log in and enjoy all these content. That means so maybe if in the future you do not need to log in into three different app or use different like login names and those kind of thing to enjoy different content. So you can just use one password to enjoy every content, and also the box can be used within all different dApps on this blockchain. So that means there is a like unified content pool and unified user pool. So people come to Content Box and they enjoy all the digital content they would like to have.
How is this idea born?
Yeah, so I think we made good achievement on the podcast platform area, but when we're doing Castbox, we have like reached a lot of different podcasters. So we find a pain point for it's really hard for them to monetize, and it's hard for them to like match their content to the right audience. And that is the feedback we got, and we think we need to solve that. And on the other side, when we got the feedback from the audience, and we find some of them really make good contribution, right? Especially when we start from very beginning. So I said that we support 70 languages, but we cannot do the localization by our own. So there are a lot of volunteers. They are just they are just audience and from different countries, and they would like to help us to translate the app UI into the local languages. We would like to say thank you to them, but actually we do not know how. So when we said could we pay you, but they did not accept. And at that time, we do not even have a premium version, so we cannot grant them something. So what we can do is just maybe send them T-shirts with the Castbox logo. But I think that I think we need to make better recognition for their like contributions. So and on the other side, so we would like to move from the audio platform to a integrated digital content platform. So we do not want to only limit it to audio. So we can put the audio platform function to Castbox, but we would like to build a whole chain for all those digital contents to be located, and we already got the experience working in digital content industry. So we think why not we just build a like blockchain to help everybody who want the content and everybody who want to be benefit from this.
It sounds really interesting. So, Sibin, is there anything else that you'd like to share with my listeners?
So first of all, you should listen more BJ's podcast. I think that is really high quality, and I really like it personally. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
and yeah. Now we have already for Castbox and Content Box. Now we have already grown from three or four people's team from now a talented team with 60 members. Now we got like offices in Beijing and Palo Alto and San Francisco and so. So if there are like any audience uh, in their podcast uh, would like to join us and interested in our project, so maybe just directly contact us. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Guys, also, if you have not downloaded CastBox yet on a phone, download the CastBox right now. And if you use the coupon code TIT, which is the short form of The Inspiring Talk, you will get 6 months of free premium version of the CastBox. Thank you, Shibin, so much for your time. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Vijay.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to this episode. Make sure to download CastBox and don't forget to use coupon code TIT to enjoy a premium version of CastBox for 6 months. Thank you for listening once again. I'll see you on the next.